I wanted to know what the latest trends in psychedelic research in Europe are and how they compare to the global trends.
Yeah, so I think that we have a lot to show in Europe in terms of psychedelic science. For instance, the first ever psychedelic center was opened in Europe, actually, at the Imperial College London. You know, we do have a lot happening here, and to bring everything together in a way, the European College of Neuropsychopharmacology created a thematic work or group on psychedelics that is bringing some of the key researchers. In terms of trends and kind of scientific developments, I would say that the most important development in the last year or so was an announcement of the EU-funded project. This is as far as I know, the first project ever funded by the EU money under the Horizon Europe program that will fund a clinical trial. It's a 4-year project. There will be a clinical trial, a multi-site clinical trial taking place in 4 countries, European countries. There are 19 members in the consortium, €6.5 million that will be dedicated to this research. And the trial is looking at the therapeutic potential of psilocybin in the context of palliative care or life-limiting conditions. So there will be 4 disease areas: 3 neurological, MS, multiple sclerosis, ALS, and Parkinson's disease, and pulmonary disease. And for all these conditions, people that are affected are often experiencing a significant decrease in their mental health, end-of-life anxiety, existential distress. So the trial will try to improve their mental health outcomes, looking at the depression. Yeah, so this is really something very positive. And maybe I'll just mention very briefly, this is still unofficial, but the draft calls for the next year topics for research, which are again not available publicly yet, have one specific call and opportunity again for psychedelic science, and it is very likely that we will see another EU-funded project in the next 1 year or so.
That's incredible work. So we're very happy about that in Europe.
Yeah, it's so important because, you know, what can we do now? We can educate, raise awareness, start the discussions, but until we have a real access through regulatory approvals, I think research is one of the key areas where we should be putting our efforts.
And so based on that ending of the question, what can MAPS in Italy do to help you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess a lot, starting with the basic notion of raising awareness. And I want to say PAREA, Psychedelic Access and Research European Alliance, in a way our center is Brussels, because that's where the center of power is. You have all the EU institutions, the Parliament, the Council, the European Commission. But in fact, what is, and especially this is true in public health, because public health is member states' competence almost fully. What is a priority in Brussels in terms of public health is a reflection of priorities in countries. So this can already start kind of answering a question. If there are no countries, if there is no interest from member states, EU member states, to somehow drive this forward. For instance, if we are nearing the regulatory approval, it would be great to have some kind of a EU level coordination helping to develop standards, ethical guidelines, safety protocols. And if there is no interest from countries to do this together, then it will not happen. So, you know, hopefully in the future, Italy could be among the a coalition of member states that are interested in driving this. But in general, I see this work as a kind of two-way street. We are reinforcing each other. PAREA is this EU-wide collaboration and kind of ecosystem of key players, and you know, I see MAPS Italy as something similar happening at the level of Italy. Finally, maybe something kind of even more concrete. there are members of the European Parliament from Italy, for instance, so, or the commissioner, so maybe one day it will be a health commissioner. So there are also opportunities to somehow strengthen our voice by having kind of recommendations coming from Italy, and then we are meeting with these politicians in Brussels. We can have some structures in the parliament of supportive MEPs. So this is an area surely when we can start collaborating right away.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you.